time and space to give yourself a break. Here you'll find some love, music, laughter, and above all, she'll dare to tell the truth. And so come to Granny's place and give your spirit a big boost.
Welcome to Granny's Place, a haven for love, entertainment, and uncommon sense. I'm Sweet Baby James, here to introduce you to Granny Rocks. Tonight's theme, Trump, the FBI, and Granny's garbage? Say what? What does Granny mean by that? Well, let's ask her. Let's find out. So here's Granny.
Hello there. Welcome, everybody. And the first thing I want to say is, last week, which was our first show, we had tragedy after tragedy, didn't we? Nothing worked right, and the sound was awful, and the today, none of that is going to happen, right? It was a great show. None of that is going to happen today. And our engineer, Luann, has been knocking her brains out, trying to figure out how to make this work. And we have better plans for the future even. But wish us luck. Don't say break a leg, because that could actually happen. So, you really want to know what Trump, the FBI, and Granny's garbage have in common? Well,
Inquiring minds want to know.
This is supposed to be entertaining, right? And by the way, you should be able to make comments, and we are supposed to be able to find out what your comments are. The system we were going to use wasn't working, but we are doing a workaround, and we should still be able to get comments, and hopefully we'll hear from everybody. Now, I have to say, again, apologies to YouTube. Did YouTube work? No, of course, YouTube didn't work. Okay, that's because it's your tube and it's not our tube. We need an our tube. We need a Granny's tube. Hopefully, we'll get that sorted out next week, too. But this show, like all of the others, are going to be archived on Granny Rocks TV on YouTube. So if you don't get to see this show live, you can always go to Granny Rocks TV on YouTube and watch that and watch all the promos and see all my 140 videos. It'll be very good. If you're looking for a nap, you can watch all my videos. Anyway, so I am supposed to make this entertaining, right? But it's kind of tragic. Okay, not the Granny Rocks garbage story, but the whole story. Okay, so everybody knows now that there was a memo from somebody to somebody, and the memo was released by somebody who said, "Oh my God, the FBI is prejudiced against Sir Donald of the Trump." Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think there is anybody in this country who at least, has some kind of capacity to comprehend what's going on in the world, or many, many people around the world who don't have an opinion about Sir Donald? I mean, they're either madly in love with him or they hate his guts. So who is going to be doing anything, investigating him, doing anything about him, who isn't prejudiced one way or the other? Would you have preferred to have the Trumper Nichols in charge of everything?
No.
No, then there would be no investigation. But see, here's where the real theme of the show comes. It's called hypocrisy, hypocrisy. What do I mean by hypocrisy? So now let's say you are defending the FBI. You're so honorable. Now, I am not defending the Trump, but I'm not going to say that everybody in the FBI is honorable, and this is where the Granny's garbage story comes up. Granny's garbage. Okay. when I was a young woman, I did not live in a shoe. I lived in New York City. Actually, probably the apartment I lived in was about the size of a shoe. But anyway, I was very active in the anti-Vietnam War movement. That was a travesty, to tell you the truth. And someday I'll tell you the rest of the story. But I was very active in everything, from the age of 9. In fact, I was told that I was reported to the FBI, but I can't remember now whether I was 9 or 12. But it was sometime in that period. And, we had this wonderful J. Edgar Hoover and they were such upstanding
and don't
guys.
forget Joseph McCarthy.
Oh, yes, but he wasn't the FBI. But he was in the Senate. And we had all these upstanding citizens who were protecting America for us, right? And obviously, I was a danger. There's Granny, a danger. Now, of course, you could say my mind was a danger, but I was never a violent person. In fact, it is only lately that I've been gathering the courage to kill insects that bite me. It started with ticks. But I'm not going to get into the whole tick story, but that'll give you an idea. Anyway,
Complete self-defense.
in self-defense. It's purely self-defense. So, when I was in the anti-war movement, and I was involved with all kinds of things, and I thought that the Vietnam War was a travesty. It was just imperialism with a new name, that we took over from the French, who had been the colonizers, of Vietnam. Anyway, guess who was watching? I was called Beth Ingber at the time. Beth Ingber predated Beth Green, who predated Granny Rocks, but it's still me. The same subversive, the person who cared. That was me. I cared about people. I wanted to see justice. Oh my God, that wasn't permitted at that time. In fact, I got expelled from college for going to a Ban the Bomb demonstration, but that's another story. So we're back to the FBI, and so every day when I would get home from work, and yes, even though I was a subversive, I had a job. But I was working for the movement, making a pittance, living on nothing, trying to change consciousness on the planet, and what do you think happened? I would go home, and everybody's mail would be sitting in their box, but mine. And my mail always came in about 2 hours after everyone else's. Now, how could that have happened? And then the other really interesting thing about my mail is it was always scotch taped. Now, do you think that's kind of coincidental? I mean, every piece of mail, other than a bill from the phone company or whatever, was scotch taped.
You don't suppose somebody opened it?
Oh, no. Nobody would do this. This is America. America, we don't do that to our people because we are a free country. Okay, so they did that. But, that wasn't the only thing. There was also my phone, but we don't have to go into the details of that, do we? Now, what does this have to do with garbage? Well, this went on and on, right? I have more horrible stories to tell you, but I'm not going to waste your time because I want to get to the point. And the point is hypocrisy, hypocrisy. I wish you were a Christmas tree. That was just complete nonsense that I just did, but I'm laughing about this. I really am. So, there were people who were scared, and they would not do things because the FBI, and they were doing horrible things. They were telling horrible rumors. Disinformation is what it was called, right, James?
Oh, yeah.
Martin Luther King was a major womanizer. Not Donald Trump. Martin Luther King was a major womanizer. And all kinds of other nonsense, right? And all of this is because you care about your country and you care about people, and you don't want people going to war and having their limbs blown off for some rotten cause. That was just disgusting. Anyway, so in the 70s, this is kind of the end of the story. I went to Cleveland, and I was working with a group of people, and we were trying to help working class people. I mean, we had people who worked in auto factories, and we knew exactly what was going on in them, right? Okay, it's the health inspectors are coming in, the safety people. Get those safety mechanisms on those machines right now, because we've gotten a tip that they're coming in. Oh yeah, this happened all the time. You think it doesn't happen now? Please, I don't believe it. So anyway, there it was. So, and we were trying to help people. I personally worked, now this was in the mid-70s, I worked in a plastic factory with a bunch of immigrant women, and no, they weren't Hispanic. They were Polacks. Disgusting Polacks. Eastern European people, they were white, but that was not good enough. You know, it was whatever you were, whatever the newest people were, the poorest, they were the ones who were hurting the most. And I worked for $1.09 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. And you couldn't go to the bathroom unless somebody came over to let you go. And you never knew when that was going to be. So your bladder could not have a mind of its own. And, you know, it was those kind of conditions that I was trying to work with. In fact, I worked for the phone company, and it was so the policy for people having time off from work for sick leave was like you could have, I can't remember exactly, 3 days a year. And even if you had a doctor's order, they could fire you if you were out more than that. And people would drop dead, you know, the lovely, hello, this is the phone company, you know, they would drop dead. But hey, is that a problem? Not in America. Oh no, we don't have those kind of conditions here. Or those are the good jobs from the good old days when America was really, really great. Right? Black lung disease.
Ah, not so much.
Yeah. Okay, so I worked with a little group of people, and we were trying to, you know, revolutionize society, right? And who do you think was going through the garbage? The FBI. And how did you know? Because everybody told you. They said, you know that there were some 2 men in black suits who were going through your garbage this afternoon. Well, that could not have happened. This is the United States of America. This is the FBI. Okay, so now are you beginning to get the idea? Hypocrisy, hypocrisy. I am not saying there aren't really good people in the FBI. I'm not saying there aren't really good people everywhere. In fact, I want to tell you that there really are really good people. But what I'm saying to you is, you know, we are so polarized. We are so politicized. We will say anything to bash the other guy and defend ourselves, no matter how untrue it is. Now, I want to know, how is our chat working?
People are on.
And do you want to say who's on so that I can say hello?
We have Helen,
Hello, Helen.
Christine,
Hello, Christine.
and Erica,
Hello, Erica.
Rose,
Hello, Rose.
Rod,
Roz. Hello, Roz.
and we have. That's who we have.
And that's on both Facebook,
Sure, I saw Richard.
Richard, and are those on both of our Facebook pages?
Yeah, some people aren't showing up that were there earlier, so I'm not sure.
So either they left or there's a problem. We may have some problem with who is here and who isn't there. So anyway, that's all we can report at the moment. So if anybody has anything to say, they're welcome to say it. So anyway, now what do I mean about hypocrisy? Okay, there's an Arlene Mazak. Okay, and there's a Chris listening through Erica's phone. Okay, very good. I wanted to say hello, and if you have anything to say, please do say so. You haven't hung up on me yet. Okay, so now, you want to hear a little bit more about hypocrisy. Do you remember, wasn't it just yesterday that the Republicans used to say the tax and spend Democrats?
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
We now have the not tax and spend Republicans. You see, all of a sudden, the national debt means nothing anymore. Borrowing money means nothing anymore. It doesn't mean anything because we know that the big tax cuts are going to the rich. Is that a little bit of hypocrisy? And, what can I say? We all know that the majority of the money is going up there. So, is that a problem?
Yeah, it sounds like we're living on debt.
Well, yeah, but see, we're going to get lollipops. You're going to get a lollipop this year, and your lollipop may be green or it may be red.
I heard of somebody who got an increase in their pay of $1.50 a week.
Oh, yeah, $1.50 a week. Oh, yeah, that was big. Big. But so now we're getting our tax cuts, and our tax cuts are like little lollipops because they're like candy. But who's getting the yachts? See, the rich are getting the store, and we're getting the candy. But hey, is that a problem? Not at all. And then, when we're all in trouble and they have to cut, who's going to get cut? Medicaid, Medicare, the poor. Right? Because we're in debt. Oh my God, we're so in debt. It's terrible. We must do something about the debt. The budget is not balanced. Right? So, is that hypocrisy? And they are going to say, look at the great benefits. They're spending our money and our children's money to put it in their pockets, and we get candy. Candy. That's not hypocrisy, is it? That's good business, yes. So, I have something to share with you which will just give you an idea of how some of the people who are running our government see the rest of us slobs. So, Luann, this was Orrin Hatch, who was the head of the Senate Finance Committee.
Yes.
He happens to be a Republican. It's not just Republicans who are crooks, by the way. And it's not even that they're crooks. It's just that it's a system where everybody just thinks about themselves, worries about themselves, and all that. Well, anyway, this is what he said about medicine and health care for the American people. Now remember, we have just given every rich person, almost every rich person, a giant raise, right? Yes. Okay. Take it away. This was in 2017 on Fox Business.
Well, I'd prefer anything other than socialized medicine. If we go that route, pretty soon healthcare will be almost every dime of the federal government. And I've got to tell you, people were demanding more and more and more and more. That's just the way it is.
People will be demanding medicine! People will demand health care. Now,
And medical treatment.
I mean,
More and more medical treatment.
more and more.
They're just going to make up all kinds of diseases. and
Absolutely.
illnesses.
Everybody wants another colonoscopy. Doc, could I have another colonoscopy, please? Please, just please, pretty please. Can I have that? Oh no, I broke my other leg. But you broke your legs a year ago. You can't break a second leg. You're so demanding. Isn't that absurd? And you know that our government officials, they have fabulous health care. But I guess they don't ask for more and more because, as we well know, people in the Congress, they never ask for more and more and more and more, and no, they're not selfish and self-centered like the rest of us. Are we that stupid? Or do they just think we're that stupid? Who's that, Tracy? Isn't that unbelievable? Oh, thank you. And Helen loves our new Granny Rocks decal. And this, a very lovely man, my piano teacher, suggested that we do something instead of advertising the company who made this beautiful piano. So I want us to just take a moment and feel the pain of what I've been talking about. You know, I think about how I felt when I was a child and the world that I wanted to live in. So far away, so far away, so far away, so far away, so far away. So far away, it's all so far away, so far away from what our hearts really want in our world, so far away. So, Granny, isn't this supposed to be a fun show? Yes. Anne says, is it selfish for people to demand the same kind of health care that we are paying for our elected leaders? Well, of course it's selfish, because we shouldn't want anything. We are there to serve. We're there to serve industry. Don't we know that? You know, we live in a society where we pollute, where we damage everything for money. But when people need money, it is socialism, communism.
Healthcare for all?
Healthcare for all. Everybody should have health. They're thinking about cutting Medicaid even more. You know, I just read recently that for a lot of people, there's jobs out there, but they don't have the health to get them. That we still, gee whiz, people don't need health care, do they? You know what we can do? I think what we should do is very simple. We should take all the healthy people and put them in the jobs until they get sick, and then we can just get a big boat and dump them out to sea. Don't you think that would work? And then see if we can find some other ones. Oh my God, I hope that doesn't mean that eventually we'll need immigrants. Oh no, we'll have machines. We won't need to be paid at all.
So what can we do, Granny?
We can stop listening to the bull. I mean, why aren't we saying we don't want candy? Why do they get the store and we get candy? Are we really? We are not that stupid. You know, they say that you can fool some of the people all of the time. And you can fool all of the people some of the time. Did I do that
That's
right?
That's right.
But you can't fool all of the people all of the time. I don't care who you voted for in the last election. I didn't see any great choices, to be perfectly honest. I don't trust Hillary Clinton either. Hypocrisy, suddenly diversity was the most important thing, right? All of a sudden, the minimum wage became very important after Bernie Sanders brought it up. But we have to wake up. We need to start talking to each other and stop being divided by labels. And let's stop jumping up and down with glee when somebody from the other side is exposed as a hypocrite, if we're not willing to take a look at every side. And why don't we start asking ourselves, what kind of a world? What kind of a world do I want to live in? Do I want to trust my neighbors? My family? Do I want to feel like everybody's okay? Or do I want the kind of world where I'm doing real well and everyone is struggling? I'm not going to feel guilty. Oh no, I'm not going to feel that. I'm going to be fine. I'm fine. I am just fine.
No stress.
No stress.
Anxiety.
Just give me another drink and another drug so that I can ignore what I see every single day. I hate this whole thing that's going on. Oh, yes, we're not going to shut down the government. Oh, yeah, those dreamers. Oh, who cares about them? I mean, they're only... they're illegal to start with. Who cares about them? I mean, what is it? First I read it's 800,000. Then I see some word that it impacts 2 million people. But, hey, who cares? I mean, it's not me, is it? It's not me. It's not me, honey, until they come for you. Because it's always like that. When they start coming for anybody, they can come for you. So don't think the color of your skin is going to protect you, that your religion is going to protect you, that your political party is going to protect you. At theinnerrevolution.org, we are fighting for a world that meets the needs of people and the earth. The last genius I just read about, but I can't remember what he was the head of, one of the people that is supposed to be in charge of our environment, he said that climate change is good. Climate change is good. So wonderful. I don't know where he is. I don't know what world he's living in. Let's stop being blind. Let's stop being dishonest. And let's stop being hypocrites. So check us out at theinnerrevolution.org. I have a whole bunch of books too. A bunch of CDs.
Some of which are free.
Some of which are free on the internet. We are making so much money on all of this. And we'll be back next week at 6:30 Pacific time. You're invited. You're always invited. There's always place for you at Granny's place. I hope you actually had a good time with me tonight, because I had a good time.